Good morning, or good afternoon, or good evening, depending on what time of day you're doing this. Alright, so I'm here to show you and talk about angles. Does anybody know what an angle is? If you said it's a geometric shape formed when two rays share the same endpoint, you would be correct. Also, what if I told you that the way that we find angles is related back to a circle? I drew a ray here. This little segment of line is called a ray. If I add a second ray here, the point here in the middle is my end point. So the two rays, when they meet in the middle, creates an angle. So this is where we get that from. A circle measures 360 degrees all the way around. So you've had a ball or a pizza or anything that's perfectly round, that circle is 360 degrees all the way around. If you have a ball or a pizza or any type of complete circle, just like this board, the board measures 360 degrees all the way around. This is how we are able to find our angles. So pretend that whatever circle you have, the sun, any food, I like to think of food because it's easy to think about. If we split up that circle into 360 tiny slices, we put it back together, it will create the circle. Now, what happens if I cut that circle in half? Does anybody know how many degrees from one side to the other side? So I'm going to show you. So here is half of my circle. What I mean from this corner here all the way to this side, this flat line is not just a line, it's an open angle. This measures 180 degrees. It is half of a circle. If I were to cut that semicircle in half again, then I will get a new angle. And this angle is 90 degrees. So if I have two of these, they add back up to my original half circle of, if I add both of these up to 90-degree angles, it will give me 180. When we give you angles, they're not always going to be perfectly straight across or a perfect angle like a 90-degree angle. We might trick you, and instead of giving you a completely flat shape, we might give it to you as a side, or it might be this way. Or in these 90 degrees, don't let them trick you. If you have these, sometimes they'll be sideways like this. So we have the white end at the top and the vertex in the middle, or we might have it flipped this way. But you will always have the same angle no matter which direction it is in. If I were to add 4 of these 90-degree angles, it will give me 360 degrees, just the same as if I have 2 of these 180-degree angles, it will also give me 360 degrees. It forms a perfect circle. What happens if I were to add 180 and 90 degrees? Well, if you add this up, you will get 270 degrees. Do you see that I didn't make this with that perfect angle that you recognize? I made it so I could show you one of the ways that we might try to trick you. And I will put it on here so you see it. I have my 180 degrees, and if I were to add the 90 degrees that I was referring to, that completely covers up the purple underneath. So 180 plus 90 is 270. I will quiz you now. What is 90 plus 90? I want you to give me the answer of how big that angle is. The answer is 180. What is 90 degrees plus 45 degrees? If you answered 135, that is correct. Last one. If I have 270 plus 90, what is my new angle? If you answered 360 degrees, you are correct.
No, Bailey.